An oxidation number is the number of electrons gained or lost by an atom when forming a chemical bond. Oxidation numbers are very similar to ionic charges, just that not all atoms become ions. Oxidation numbers describe the number of valence electrons around an atom or an ion. Here are the oxidation number rules. Number 1, atoms in their elemental states have oxidation numbers of 0. Ions keep their charges. Oxygen in a compound is -2 unless it's in a case it would be -1. Fluorine is -1. Hydrogen is +1 hydride, in which case it's -1. You can tell when hydrogen is a hydride because it's with a metallic compound that has a positive charge. Hydrogen would have to have a negative charge to balance it out and make the compound neutral. And oxidation numbers equals the charge of the substance. If it is, then the total sum of the oxidation numbers equals 0. Let's practice. What are the oxidation numbers of the elements in magnesium bromide? Since this is an ionic compound between a metal and a nonmetal, the ions keep their charges. Magnesium is 2+, and bromide is -1. What are the oxidation numbers of the iron oxide? This is also an ionic compound, but iron can have multiple oxidation states. Oxygen, however, is going to be -2. So that 2 times the oxidation number of iron plus 3 times the oxidation number of 0 is equal to the total charge of the compound, which is 0. We know that the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So we have 2 times the number of iron plus 3 times -2 is equal to 0. Or 2 times the oxidation number of iron is equal to 6. We divide each side by 2, and we get the iron as 3+. What are the oxidation numbers of the elements in aluminum nitride? Again, this is an ionic compound, so the ions keep their charge. Aluminum is 3+, and nitride is 3-. What are the oxidation numbers of the elements in sulfur trioxide? This is not a because it's between 2 nonmetals. We do, however, know that the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So 1 sulfur with an unknown oxidation number plus 3 times the oxidation number of oxygen is equal to 0. We know that the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So the oxidation number of sulfur plus -6 is equal to 0, or the oxidation number of sulfur is equal to 6+. What are the oxidation numbers of the element phosphate? Phosphate is a polyatomic ion with a total charge of 3- and it contains nonmetals only. We know that the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So the oxidation number of phosphorus plus 4 times the oxidation number of oxygen is equal to -3. It's equal to and not 0 because the total charge of the ion is -3. It's not 0. So we know that the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So we get that the oxidation times -2 is equal to -3. 4 times -2 is equal to -8. We add 8 to each side and we get the oxidation number of phosphorus as 5+. What are the oxidation numbers of the elements in the dichromate ion? Dichromate is a metal and a nonmetal. We know that the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So 2 times the oxidation number of chromium plus 7 times the oxidation number of oxygen is equal to the total charge of the ion, which is -2. That the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So 2 times the oxidation number of chromium minus 14 is equal to -2. We add 14 to each side, and we get that 2 times the oxidation number of chromium is equal to 12. We divide each side by 2, and we get the oxidation number of chromium to be 6+. What are the oxidation numbers of the elements in chlorous acid? We've looked at oxygen a lot, but here we also have hydrogen. Remember that hydrogen has an oxidation number of +1 unless it's a hydride. And of course, we remember that oxygen has an oxidation number of -2. All we have to do now is find the oxidation. 1 times the oxidation plus 1 times the oxidation number of chlorine plus 2 times the oxidation number is equal to 0. The oxidation number of hydrogen is +1, and the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So plus the oxidation number of chlorine plus a -4 is equal to 0. 1 plus a -4 is the same thing as -3. And when we add 3 to each side, we get that the oxidation number of chlorine in chlorous acid is +3. What are the oxidations of the elements in hydrogen peroxide? Remember that hydrogen has an oxidation number of +1. Oxygen usually has an oxidation number of -2. It's in a peroxide. This is a peroxide. 2 times the hydrogen plus 2 times the oxidation number of oxygen is equal to 0. We know that the oxidation number of hydrogen is 1. This would make the oxidation number of oxygen have to equal -1. In this video on electrochemistry, we're going to look at oxidation numbers. It's the number of electrons gained or lost by an atom in a chemical bond. Oxidation numbers are very similar to ionic charges, just that not all atoms become ions. Oxidation numbers describe the number of valence electrons around an atom or an ion. Here are the oxidation number rules. Number 1, atoms in their elemental state